We also have in our midst, my Lord, Honorable Justice Nelson S. ADEPOJU, retired. Distinguished Senior Advocate of Nigeria, permit me to recognize the presence of Mr. Olagoke Papole, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Also in our midst is Mr. Soji OJUOLAPE, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. You're welcome. I have the honor to recognize the presence of Sir Charles Titiloye, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, former Attorney General of Ondo State and Commissioner for Justice. Thank you. I have the privilege to recognize the presence of the Chief Registrar of Ondo State High Court, Mr. Kayodeji Akisfel. Seated in our midst is the Chief Registrar of the Summary Court of Appeal, Mrs. Yetunde Ajala. Permit me to warmly welcome the pioneer president of the Customary Court of Appeal, Lord Honorable Justice Validatory, retired. Families of the departed jurists, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to this solemn special court sitting in front of the dearly beloved departed jurist, late Honorable Justice ADEPOJU, OJUOLAPE, whose contributions to the bench remain indelible. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
My Lord Honorable Justice O.A. Adegboye, my Lord Honorable Justice Ologun, my Lord Honorable Justice P.J. Akinwumi, my Lord Honorable Justice Bolatito F. Ajibade, my Lord Honorable Justice Orimiso Okorisha, my Lord Honorable Justice Professor A.E. Akinwumi, my Lord Honorable Justice Temitope Michael Adedipe, my Lord Honorable Justice Ademola Enikome, my Lord Honorable Justice Olajide John Abe, my Lord Honorable Justice Sunday Olorundaosi, my Lord Honorable Justice Dr. O.S. Kutei, my Lord Honorable Justice A.M. Owoloni, my Lord Honorable Justice C.T. Adeshola Ipat, my Lord Honorable Justice O.M. Adejumo, my Lord Justice P.O. Kujine, my Lord Honorable Justice Aderemi Adegoroye, my Lord Honorable Justice A.A. Fasoni, my Lord Honorable Justice D.I. Kolawole, my Lord Honorable Justice O. Akinto Osadede, my Lord the President of the Customary Court of Appeal, my Lord Honorable Justice E.A. Alade, and my Lord the Honorable Chief Judge of Ondo State, Honorable Justice A.O. Odushola.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Judge of Ondo State, I humbly seek your Lordship's permission to hand over the microphone to the Chief Registrar of Ondo State High Court, Mr. Ayodeji Akinsanya, to formally announce the commencement of the special court sitting. Thank you.
My Lord, the Chief Judge, Honorable Justice A.O. Odushola, Lord, the President of Summary Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Princess E.A. Alade, my Lord, Judges of Ondo State Judiciary, my Lord, serving justices of the Court of Appeal here, my Lord, Honorable Justice Olawode Adebelede, I use Baba Kumi as a point of contact to all the retired CJs in our midst and all other retired judges. July 6th. We are here gathered for this solemn occasion to remember the life and times of Pa ADEPOJU. We are celebrating, we are not mourning. I will humbly, with respect, hand over the microphone to my Lord, the Honorable Judiciary, for his opening remark and also to establish the protocol.
My Lord, the Honorable Justice of the Court of Appeal, my Lord, Honorable Justice ADEPOJU, who came all the way from Yola Division of the Court of Appeal, the Acting Chief Judge of Ekiti State, ably represented by my Lord, Honorable Justice Aladejani, the President of the Customary Court of Appeal in Ondo State, my Lord, Honorable Justice Eunice Alade, the President, all other judges of Ondo State Judiciary here present, other serving judges from other jurisdictions. Here I want to specially recognize and welcome Honorable Justice O.I. Ogunyemi of Ekiti State Judiciary, Justice E.B. Omotosho of Ekiti State Judiciary, Honorable Justice O.O. Oluboyede, Ekiti State Judiciary, Honorable Justice B.O. Ajileye. My lords, you are welcome. The Honorable Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Ondo State, Dr. Kayode Ajulo, early this morning he called me that he would not be able to make it. He was on an official assignment in Lagos, but his flight was scheduled for 8:30. It was getting to the airport. The flight was postponed or rescheduled, so he couldn't make it. Retired judges, chief judges of Ondo State and Ekiti State here present. Here I want to specially recognize Honorable Justice Olatunji Kumuyi, former chief judge of Ondo State. My Lord, Honorable Justice O.O. Akeredolu, Judge of Ondo State, retired. Retired President of the Customary Court of Appeal, my Lord, Justice F.O. Abudatayo. Retired judges of Ondo State Judiciary, the Chief Registrar of the High Court of Ondo State, Chief Registrar of the Customary Court of Appeal of Ondo State, the Secretary of the Judicial Service Commission, the Acting Director General of Ondo State Multi-Door House, Deputy Chief Registrar and Magistrates of Ondo State Judiciary, learned senior advocates here present. I want to recognize Mr. OJUOLAPE SCN, all the way from Abuja. For Mr. Lagope Fakule SCN, Sir Charles Titiloyi SCN. Let me apologize for not recognizing one of our referred jurists under whom I trained when I was first appointed the judge, and is no other person than Honorable Justice Babatunde Adejumo, former President of the National Industrial Court. Thank you, sir, for coming. When I was appointed in 2002, he was the one who educated me and who trained me how to record court proceedings. My Lord, I thank you. Sir Charles Titiloyi SCN, you are also welcome. Chairman of Ondo State Branches of Nigerian Bar Association, distinguished members of the bar, families and friends of Honorable Justice OJUOLAPE, gentlemen of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with a deep sense of sobriety that I welcome you all to this special court session conveying honor of our departed colleague, Honorable Justice ADEPOJU, who recently passed on. This session is not a proceeding in the usual sense of adjudication, but a ceremonial gathering to pay tribute to a judge who, during his time on the bench, served with distinction, integrity, and devotion to the rule of law. It's a time for us members of the bench and bar, family, friends, and associates to reflect on the life spent in the pursuit of justice and to acknowledge the valuable contributions of our dear colleagues to the judiciary and to society at large. We begin this session with an observance of a minute silence in honor of Honorable Justice ADEPOJU retired, and thereafter proceed to hear tributes from those who knew him in both professional and personal capacities. Justice OJUOLAPE was more than a jurist. He was a beacon of integrity and embodiment of diligence and a guardian of the rule of law. His judgments were not only sound in law but rich in wisdom and fairness. He served this bench with honor, with humility, and unwavering integrity. In honor of his memory and in recognition of a life devoted to the service of justice, I humbly request that we all rise and observe a minute silence in solemn remembrance of Honorable Justice ADEPOJU.
Sorry, no.
May the soul of the departed rest in heaven.
Amen.
In a major departure from our tradition, judges of Ondo Judiciary resolved to attire in our most revered and red robes in place of the usual black sitting robe for a funeral. This interesting brave OJUOLAPE, in recognition of his age, his consistent presence in our program, and his life, and his long identification with the judiciary until his passing. He was an exceptional judge, and it's only fitting that he be celebrated in an exceptional way. This is not a regular practice. It is therefore with infinite pleasure that I welcome you all to this second special court session in honor of our beloved departed centenarian, retired Honorable Justice ADEPOJU, whose passing at 98 years came after a brief illness. The first special session was held by Ekiti State Judiciary 2 days ago. That was on 28th of April 2025. Honorable Justice ADEPOJU and I share a deep history. He was a friend of my late father, Chief Ondo, and my father always recounted his courtroom experiences with his lordship whenever he appeared before his lordship. They were stories of uprightness, judicial sobriety, and candor. Although I never appeared before him, I already had a huge impression of him. Thus, when introduced to him after my appointment as a judge, I was not surprised when his face lit up in excitement and admiration. From that moment, we forged a father-son relationship which has spanned over 2 decades. So when I received the call that late hour on the 16th of August 2024, that Baba was in the hospital, I broke my long-standing no-night outing rule and proceeded to the hospital where he lay peacefully, barely able to speak, yet surrounded by an atmosphere of peace and tranquility. The same values that ruled his extraordinary life. Baba later recovered, and I remember I visited him at home. Honorable Justice Edward ADEPOJU was born on May 16, 1927 to Chief Jacob Omolafe OJUOLAPE and Princess Alice Faibe OJUOLAPE, both of Ogotun, Ekiti. He was the youngest of 7 sons with 2 young sisters and an elder sister. His father, a tailor, enrolled him at St. Catherine's Elementary School, Ogotun, Ekiti, a school established in 1916. He excelled academically and later completed his primary school living certificate at St. Paul's Anglican School, Igbaraoke, in 1944. That was 81 years ago. Due to financial constraints, he could not attend the all-famous Christ School at Ekiti. So he opted for a more affordable, yet equally reputable Ilesha Grammar School, where he studied between 1945 and 1948. After a brief venture into business in Ilesha, he pursued further studies when he enrolled for GC Southwest Region until his appointment as a judge in 1977. His biographer aptly described his private practice years as follows, quote, "He made the practice of law enviable for contemporaries and particularly for young colleagues who saw him as a prosperous legal practitioner. This was partly because he handled briefs from several banks operating across the then Ondo province. His secondary education at Ilesha Grammar School shaped his character with values of integrity, hard work, and discipline, traits that define both his personal and professional life." End of quote. He was appointed a judge of the High Court on the 16th of September 1977 and served mostly in Akure Division. In the wake of his departure, we revisited the record books and read some of his proceedings where features of his personality were expressly displayed. His clean, steady handwriting that carefully stayed within the lines demonstrated a personality that valued order. Despite the pressure of long hand recording, his handwriting remained neat and composed, showing his calmness even under pressure. He observed margins meticulously and signed every proceedings with vigilance, highlighting his commitment to excellence. He still found time to dot the I's and cross every T's, even under courtroom urgency. Baba was among the 3-man panel of judges that tried the famous Ajasin Omogoriowo case in 1982 governorship case. The case largely resolved the post-election violence in Ondo State and set new standards for judicial activism, even in the face of government opposition. Throughout his career, he held numerous judicial and public appointments, including being sole commissioner into chieftaincy matters in parts of Ondo State, chairman of the Ondo State Local Government Election Petition Tribunal in 1996, chairman of the Judicial Panel of Inquiry into Financial Transactions in Ekiti State in 1999, resident electoral commissioner for Kaduna State in 1998, and many more. He was at the time director of the Industrial and Investment Credit Corporation, later known as OJUOLAPE Group, Director at the Ondo State Housing Corporation, Board members of Ekiti Parapọ̀ College, Ido Ekiti, and Annunciation Grammar School, Ikere Ekiti. He was a well-traveled tourist whose refined dressing reflected his distinguished upbringing and wide exposure. His biographer further recalls the remarks of Honorable Justice Adeloye, the then Chief Judge of Ondo State, as Justice OJUOLAPE's retirement in 1994. I quote, Eddie, as I fondly call him, has been my stabilizer on this seat. Whenever I made a decision that might offend him or other colleagues, he would reserve his comments until he could see me privately to talk it over. I have deep respect for his views because they always stem from genuine concern for the judiciary. Justice OJUOLAPE worked extra hard in the last 3 months to relieve the judiciary of the burden of too many pending cases. He even forfeited his 2 weeks terminal leave. I would not be surprised if by his retirement date, Monday 16th of May, he was still delivering justice. End of quote. The Ondo State Government tribute. The Ondo State Government tribute at his retirement ceremony read as follows. I quote, the Ondo State Government wishes to place on record your positive and enviable contribution to the growth and development of the judicial system in Ondo State. Indeed, you are one of the veritable pillars, the towering founding fathers of the state judiciary, which is no doubt one of the best in the country. During your service on the bench, you ensured the quick dispensation of justice and demonstrated sincerity and honesty of purpose. You consistently upheld the rule of law in the discharge of your judicial functions. We are confident that you will always avail the state of your wealth of experience whenever called upon. End of quote. Even after retirement, Baba OJUOLAPE maintained his keen interest in the judiciary activities, offering valuable advice and suggestions. He honored our invitation to legal year ceremonies and other special events, even into his advanced years. And I saw him gracefully dancing at the 2023 legal year ceremony, my first as the Chief Judge. I marveled again at his agility and enduring spirit. Remarkably, he never needed reading glasses, even when handling fine print. His presence was an invaluable historical and moral compass for us. Baba OJUOLAPE was also actively involved in various social and developmental activities initiatives, notably the Women in Prison Support Initiative. The Women's in Prison Support Initiative was founded by his daughter, Dr. Oluwayemisi Tosanya, which focuses on the rights and welfare of women in custodial care. The foundation is also an integral sponsor of the funeral ceremonies. Indeed, I found out how best to express my profound admiration for Baba OJUOLAPE and the magnitude of the loss we feel. I thought of singing, but I do not have the voice. I thought of writing a poem, but I like the verses. Yet I have the courage to say that Baba was one of the most outstanding influences on me, and the lessons I learned from his humility will continue to guide my thoughts forever. This morning, I woke up staring at the birthday card he personally delivered to me last year. The inspiring words inscribed in it remains vivid. Quote, I'm not the only one that joined your celebrating team today, but millions of angels in heaven are also rejoicing with you. Because what you are doing today is an ordination from God. Have a blessed birthday. He personally added in his own handwriting. The card speaks our mind about you, my Lord. Happy birthday. From Honorable Justice and Chief Mrs. E.A. OJUOLAPE, retired. Dated. Now, let me also keep in this. On that day, he personally came to deliver the card and the cake. And the officers from EFCC from the Benin division came to pay me a courtesy visit. So when Baba came, he sat in the office of the protocol officer. So as I led the visitors out of my chambers, I noticed that a car was parked in front of the CJ's contract. I quickly asked my aides, I said, who parked this car? Who is the owner of this car? Now they said, he didn't know. Then somebody came and said, Baba OJUOLAPE vehicle. So I eagerly went in to look for him. I met him in the office of the protocol. I said, Baba, what are you doing here? He said, I heard you have some visitors and I didn't want to disturb you. I said, Baba, if you do not disturb me, who else will disturb me? So I led him to my office, and then he prayed for me, and we discussed certain issues relating to the judiciary that he wants to help me to address. And then I promised that I was going to make amends. And truly to my promise, I've started. Each time I see the card and the accompanying page, I feel his presence, a presence which shall slowly miss, not only for his wise intervention during our squabbles and misunderstandings, but also for the ambient dignity and integrity he embodied. Mama Ondo OJUOLAPE, who was always by his side, ensuring his impeccable appearance and comfort. I commiserate with the Ondo State Judiciary and the entire legal community on the loss of his incorruptible juries. It is my earnest wish that a record will be kept of all juries who have passed in this state, preserving their legacy of goodwill for posterity. For Honorable Justice ADEPOJU OJUOLAPE, it was indeed a beautiful sojourn on earth, and we are grateful to have shared his remarkable lifetime. My lords, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all for your attention.
Thank you, my Lord.
Serving very shortly, member of the new state. Lost that cities and that police of high courts in this state. That lost from the High Court of Justice. And importantly, my Lord, my noble Lord, of the Court of Appeal in Nigeria, Honorable Justice Ondo Judiciary. My members of the NAPA, NSX, now present, use Mr. Family, the board of contact to the rest of the SCNs. The warships are present, almost members, the colleagues of the NPA. As pointed out, CJ, one of the Attorney General is unavailable absent for this event. He also traveled to Abuja and couldn't make his flights. So that's the reason I have honor for you to present the speech. I will read the speech prepared. I stand before you today with a deep sense of gratitude to God for the life respect. To come together to honor and celebrate the life of a remarkable Jew, late Honorable Justice Ondo Judiciary. Justice Ojuolape's journey came to a close on 16th of January 2025 after gracing his death for nearly 97 glorious years. His was a life which was service, steeped in dignity, crowned by unwavering commitment to justice and the rule of God. Throughout his long and illustrious career, Honorable Justice Ojuolape distinguished himself as a beacon of integrity, wisdom, and profound learning. His name became synonymous with fairness, patience, and fearlessness that define the best judicial body. Lord's distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Justice Ojuolape was not merely a judge, he was an institution. In every matter that came before him, he displayed an unvarying mastery, tempered with humanity and compassion. The judges were not only sound in law, but discerned moral clarity, inspiring confidence among litigants, counsel, and life. He was a man who bore the heavy mantle of justice with humility, understanding that to sit in judgment about that is to carry a sacred trust. Trust will never be betrayed throughout his many years of victorious service. His refuse culture is a sanctuary of respect, discipline, and profound dedication. For him, justice was not an abstract idea, but a living discipline with a person with courage, precision, and heart that understood the price of the command. Beyond the bench, Justice ADEPOJU was a family man of great works. He mentored to countless young legal minds and respected elder statesmen, the judiciary and his community. His humanity, his modesty, despite his 200 achievements and his steadfast devotion to public service, made him loved by all who encountered him. As Attorney General of the District, I am privileged to publicly acknowledge the immense contribution of Justice Ojuolape to the development and repetition of the judiciary. His life's work remains the guiding light to those of us entrusted in the solemn duty of upholding the law. Even as we grieve his departure, we celebrate the life that fulfilled his purpose and left an indelible legacy. A life that reminds us that greatness is measured not by titles or accolades, but by the lives touched, the principles taught, and the example set for generations yet to come. For the family of our departed worship, we extend our deepest condolences. We pray that the Almighty will grant you the fortitude to bear this blessing with us, and the comfort of knowing that his was a life of profound impact, and his legacy will endure beyond our time. The noble soul of Honorable Justice ADEPOJU will have find eternal rest on the bosom of the Almighty, and we all be inspired and virtuous so effortlessly. Thank you all for this. God bless you.
Nigeria, dear President, my brothers, Honorable Justice Ojuolape ADEPOJU. Your Lordship, judges of the High Court of Ondo State and judges of the customary Court of Appeal from Ondo State, dear President and sitting. The Lordships of the High Court and other courts of coordinate jurisdiction from outside jurisdiction, that is outside Ondo State, here present, immediately the state, using my brother and my Lord Justice, Babajide Aladijano, as point of contact with all of them. The Honorable Attorney General of Ondo State, represented by my brother, everybody. Distinguished learned brothers, senior advocates of Nigeria, the three of us are representing the inner class today. You're welcome, sir. Chairmen of our various branches of the NBA, I salute all. Learned colleagues of the Bar, the Chief Registrar, High Court of Ondo State and Deputies, your worships, the magistrates, Chief Magistrates, and Ondo State Judiciary senior officers, senior magistrates, and magistrates of all cadres. Directors of Administration, Ondo Judiciary, High Court and Customary Court of Appeal, Rent Tribunal Chairmen and Members, Members of the Ondo Judicial Service Commission, Customary Court Chairmen and Members, Registrars of the High Court and the Customary Court of Appeal, and all court officials who are present, family members and friends, and relations of Papa, Honorable Justice ADEPOJU, OJUOLAPE, gentlemen and ladies of the press, ladies and gentlemen generally, with no title, but are recognized here present. My Lord, I have a piece of paper here that I have prepared. In the course of my going through again, I found some typo errors and some errors that I will correct. The errors I admit liability, absolutely. Monday, April 28, 2025, it is the State High Court Ceremonial Court. I recall on that occasion my first privileged meeting with Papa, His Lordship, Honorable Justice ADEPOJU in 1965. Papa, as I fondly called him, was a great philosopher and a gentleman of independent means after the order of King Jack Russell, who lived between 1712 and 1778. As we gather here today to celebrate the life and times of Papa OJUOLAPE, father and friend, and yet to some others a great uncle, to some brother, to some nephew, et al., and to his wife a great husband, confidant, and more. Let us all remember the laughter, love, and joy His Lordship at one time or the other brought unto our lives. May His Lordship's memory continue to inspire and uplift us all as we navigate this world without Him anymore. Together we can honor His legacy and cherish the moments we share. Papa from records was born on May 17, 1927 at Ondo Judiciary, Nigeria. By May 17, 2025, Papa will have lived 100 years of planet Earth in less 2 years only. Papa had many children, biological and non-biological. He was a lovely husband to his wife, Mrs. OJUOLAPE, a virtuous woman of substance and learning. Papa OJUOLAPE's biological parents were Chief J.K. OJUOLAPE and Princess Alice Fawite, both deceased. Papa began Western education both at St. Bartholomew's Anglican School and St. Paul's Anglican School in Dorothy. He obtained his first living certificate in 1944. Between 1945 and 1948, both years in music, he attended the Leisure Grammar School at the Leisure for secondary education. In 1956, he sailed to England and enrolled for the General Certificate of Education at the famous Northwestern Polytechnic, London, England, and in preparation for the study of law at the Council of Legal Education School of Law, London, England. In 1962, the Lordship passed the English bar final exam and was called and admitted to the English bar at the Billy Temple Inn, London, on November 27, 1962. He returned to Nigeria at the end of that year. In 1963, Nigeria as a nation became a republic, known as the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That and more led to the establishment of the Nigerian Law School. Papa chose to attend the Nigerian Law School program between October and December 1963. Those who were to compulsorily attend law school were people that finished in 1963. If he did not want to go to Nigerian law school, he will have still been able to practice there as a practice. On January 13, 1964, he enrolled as a legal practitioner at the Supreme Court of Nigeria in Lagos. Working career. Papa OJUOLAPE, upon completion of the secondary school education at Ilesha, moved to Osogbo, where he started a private business Thirdly, transportation. We remained in that business for 7 years, 1948 1949, up to 1963. Upon a first enrollment as a legal practitioner in 1964 in Nigeria, we returned to Osogbo to start up private legal practice. We left Osogbo for Abuja that same year to join the law firm of Michael Ekudayo, the legal practitioner. Later, Honorable Justice, High Court, Western State, High Court, Ondo State, Federal Court of Appeal, later Court of Appeal, Nigeria, and lastly, the Supreme Court of Nigeria. It was within the legal practice from 1964 to 1967. In 1967, we re-established the private practice, and now in Nigeria, the practice took into several judicial divisions in the then three made 4 regions of Nigeria, namely Western region, Eastern region, Northern region, and the Midwest region, which was created in 1963. His practice was a successful one. He kept at it even when states were created in Nigeria, 12 states in 1967, by the federal military government under the headship of General Noah. It was found to be number 14 of 1967. Namely states, bracket of creation and transitional provisions, bracket close, degree 1967. I recall personally that in 1968, I was a young man, and I'm still a young man. During the Civil War, Nigerian government was not ready to be supplied with ammunition from outside. So that great legend, was connected with Russia and asked Russia for ammunition. Russia asked, you have to pay. They are going to say, we don't have the money to pay. But if you bring something to us, we will encourage our people to buy and we will transfer the money back. So there came a car named Moscovich. That car, Papa bought one, brand new, WP 1800. He drove us in it. He used to drive it round, but the grey color. I recall very vividly. Now, Papa continued his practice. He even followed clients to England in the course of his practice. Don't forget he was practicing here. So good things happen here. We are all living in that. On September 26, 1977, Papa, His Lordship, Honorable Justice OJUOLAPE was elevated to the High Court bench of the newly created state, namely Ondo State. Ondo State was created on the 3rd day of February 1976 by the federal military government under General Mohammed of blessed memory. However, Ondo State did not take up until April 2, 1976 by reason of the death of the then head of state who was killed by assassination on February 13, 1976. Let me say something here. In the days gone by, when, and I know it still happens, judges were appointed, invited, and appointed. Papa knew that he was going to be appointed as well. He ensured that he bought his brand new car, Mercedes-Benz, Army Green color, before he was sworn in. He was sworn in on the 26th day of September, but he bought that car months earlier. That tells us about him and others as an actor. And we still have men here. We are proud of our bench in Ondo State and Ekiti State and other states of Nigeria. We shall always be better. The judiciary of Ondo State, the new state, was created by the state Creation and Transitional Provisions Decree 1976, number 12 of 1976. It finally took off on July 6, 1976, with the then Honorable Justice Timothy Aguda, PhD, that prodigal son of Ondo State, a man of great distinction and honor. He was the first chief judge. Indeed, he was the chief judge of 3 states when states were created, Ondo, Ogun, and Oyo. His lordship took the oath of office on that day and date. My Lord Justice OJUOLAPE served as a judge of the High Court of Ondo State in various judicial divisions between September 16, 1977 and May 17, 1994, when he retired from the bench upon obtaining the then constitutional statutory retirement age for judges of all superior courts in Nigeria. His lordship had a checkered career, both at the bar as a private legal practitioner and on the bench. Baba attended many conferences, seminars, workshops within and outside Nigeria in the course of his professional career at the bar and at the door at the His lordship was a warm personality. He was not quick to take offense even at obviously insolent behavior and improper attitude of persons and of parties and counsel while he sat on the High Court bench. He enjoyed listening to music. He loved traveling by sea, air, and road. He loved watching documentaries and current affairs on television. He loved reading and writing in particular. He was always neat in physical appearance. As a counsel practicing at the bar and on the bench, his lordship was always properly attired in the legal profession that judges regulation were. He never went offline in his appearance as counsel or judge. His lordship was altogether lovely in his personal interaction and relationship with friends, family, acquaintances, and children, etc., including myself, my spouse, and family. Permit me to share with us a few memorable cases which his lordship had upon and dealt with in the course of judicial career on the High Court bench. Number 1, the case of Barnabas B. Kolawole versus Michael Owolabi and 7 others, Chairman Caretaker Committee of the MPN, reported in 1984 5 Nigerian Constitutional Law Report, page 482 at 482 to 486. The issue which came up for determination was on constitutional law, which involved a political party, the MPN now defunct, where it was whether under the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in 1979, an injunction could be granted in a dispute involving a political party. His lordship, in his admirable way of writing law, held that the first 86 paragraph 2 goes, with the affidavit and counter-affidavit before me, I am satisfied that the applicant will suffer and make a parable injury if the prayer sought are not granted. Lordship granted the order of injunction, but he made no order of support. In the case of Aqua Limited versus Ondo State Contract, 1988, for Nigeria Meeting Law Report Part 91. At 650, I was privileged to partake in that case at the court of appeal and Supreme Court. The case was based, the case ended at the Supreme Court because an issue of simple contract. The third one, Chief ADEPOJU versus Chief Michael Adekunle Ajasi, reported in 1984, 1 Supreme Court of Nigeria Law Report, page 108. This case came before the then Ondo State Validatory, now called Governorship Election Tribunal in 1968. It was not upon by a panel of 500 justices, including Papa as a member. The tribunal was headed by a Honorable Justice Ondo PhD of President Memory, a man of great distinction and learning. The Supreme Court at page 112 to 114 upheld the decision of the panel, holding that the appeal of appellant from Ondo failed to satisfy the tribunal and the Supreme Court that the alleged non-compliance with the electoral regulation affected the result of the election or prevented the return of votes in the favor of the fair. The Supreme Court further affirmed the 5-member panel holding a decision that the various certificates of return issued and signed by the assistant returning officer, the deputy returning officers, at the Ondo Judiciary election of 1983, which were delivered to petitioners, are duplicate originals. And are admissible under section 93 and 95 of the Evidence Act. Those sections are now 85 and 87 under the Evidence Act 2011. See page 130 to 131 of the Supreme Court judgment in the matter. 4. In the case of Validatory Afolabi versus Ademumi, Validatory and NEC, it was NEC then. It has changed from the Suit number 8A2EP91 unreported for judgment delivered by His Lordship on August 12, 1991. Incidentally, I have witnesses here. His Lordship Justice Adepoju was cancelled for the appellant. I was cancelled for next respondent, and His Lordship Honorable Justice Bola and Honorable Justice Emma Olamide appeared with me in that matter. It was a simple matter made difficult. 9 months we were in and out of court. And what was the issue? It was the application of ordinary residence, which was introduced by the provision of 1989 local government bracket open basic constitutional and transitional provision bracket close degree number 15 of 1989. Then it was introduced that to contest an election, a local government election, if you are ordinarily resident in the area, that means His Lordship the Chief Judge, giving an example without being offensive, which your Lordship did, to contest an election after retirement in Ikale local government, even though we live in Akure. But because you spend weekends in Ikale, you are calling. That was just that long, and it became an issue. We were in 4 courts, from the tribunal to the high court, back and forth, and we came to Papa's door to decide. He brought 2 English cases. I can't recall the English cases of it now. And he told us that that was a simple matter if we not have engendered this bad law. He resolved the matter in our favor. So the interpretation of that law was settled. Number 5, Chief Omoni Ifayem and others, 8 others are from Chief R.A.Validatory and 74 others. AK/76/85 unreported for judgment delivered by His Lordship Honorable OJUOLAPE on Tuesday, June 27, 1989. This was a land matter which was commenced in 1985. The plaintiff against 75 persons as purchasers / grantees of land, which was found at the close of the hearing that first to fourth defendants admitted granting plots of land to the 5th to 17th. Indeed, first to fourth defendants were accredited representatives of the family, invested with the power and authority to grant plots of land to purchasers and other grantees by the principal members of the family. It is instructive to note that the Supreme Court affirmed the decision of His Lordship in this way. His Lordship, Honorable, before I go to that, I recall one day when my Lord Justice Validatory, and you remember, he reminded me, they appeared in court, they were young cancer, and there was an older cancer who was trying to bully my then learned friend and brother, still a brother of the High Court. And Papa said, hold on, cancer, don't bully him, he's talking law. That was Papa's character. Throughout on the bench, Papa will sit down and try to take it as if he's not hearing you. But it was an extremely gentle. So, thank you. Papa's career in his 17 years went through practically all the major constitutional changes in Nigeria's jurisprudence and legal history. In 1977, the era of price control law, as I said in my paper, and prosecution of offenders on who subject to price control, we sat on those cases, and I think it ended in 1978. In 1978, the Land Use Act came. It was Land Use Decree. What I can describe that Land Use Decree as the stupidest kind of decree that was ever promulgated by the federal government. We are still battling with it. The Land Use Decree took away my grandfather's right, which was a right in his property in perpetuity, and he reduced it to I said in Adobe that we should go back to check the Land Use Decree or Land Use Act made in 1978. There is no provision, there is nothing in that decree that says the duration of the lease. Not one. It was all good of the court. 99 years. Who says? They still grant interest in property in England 20 years. And so I think it is proper time to return Honorable Justice Timothy Akola because of my paper. Now, you are most welcome. We honor you all of the time. I will pray that God will continue to meet you. Thank you, my Lord, and I want to thank my sister, Dr. Kumudi, Mrs., for always being there. I hope I've not left anyone out. If I have done so, I apologize. Thank you, my Lord.
Chairman, Apreba, to give.
Honorable Justice A.O. Odushola, President of the Customary Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice E.A. Alade, all the justices or judges of Ondo State Judiciary, my Lord, Honorable Justice Olabode Abimbola Adebenbe, JCA, and other justices of the Court of Appeal here present. May I also recognize the presence of the retired judges here present, using my Lord, Honorable Justice ADEPOJU, President, National Industrial Court as point of contact. We appreciate your comments, sir. May I also crave the indulgence of my noble Lord to permit me, even though I am tall, I'm not too heavy, to stand on the already established protocols. My noble Lord, I hope I have the permission, sir. Thank you so much, my Lord. My Lord, when the letter came to us at the NBA, of course it was obvious as the chairman I should deliver a speech. But I had scouted around for who would be able to take that cup, for it was something I felt I could not do. So on that basis, I could not see who to pass the cup to, in view of the fact that whatever they will be coming to say will amount to hearsay evidence. But I've tried as much as possible to circumvent that provision of the Evidence Act. I went and consulted most of our bar leaders, and I also consulted books. So whatever I'm saying here today, my Lord, I'm pretty sure it will be admissible in law. Thank you so much, my noble Lord. I have a very short speech, and I will want to read. Today, we gather to celebrate the life and legacy of late Honorable Justice Edward ADEPOJU OJUOLAPE, an erudite jurist whose dedication to justice, integrity, and humanity has left an indelible mark on our legal system. Justice OJUOLAPE's remarkable journey, spanning over 9 decades, was characterized by his unwavering commitment to excellence, his passion for justice, and his kindness. From his early days as a lawyer to his tenure as a High Court judge, he consistently demonstrated a deep understanding of the law and a strong sense of justice. My Lord, I can say this, and it will be admissible in view of all that has been said before now. Then I have basis to draw inspiration from. His birth, early life, and education. Honorable Justice Edward ADEPOJU, OJUOLAPE, retired, a distinguished jurist, was born on the 16th of May 1927 to Chief Jacob Komolafe OJUOLAPE and Alice Fawipe, a princess of the Ologotun family in Ogotun Ekiti, a village renowned for its rich cultural heritage in the western region of Nigeria. He was the youngest son of 7 children, with 2 younger sisters and an elder sister. Growing up in a humble but hardworking family, Honorable Justice OJUOLAPE experienced the challenges of rural life in early 20th centuries in Nigeria. His father, a successful tailor and farmer, prioritized his children's education despite limited resources. Edward's formal education began at St. Bartholomew CMS Elementary School in Ogotun, where he excelled academically. He later moved on to St. Paul Anglican School in Ibarauke, where he obtained his first school leaving certificate in 1944. Despite financial constraints that prevented him from attending Christ School at Ekiti, a renowned school at that, Justice OJUOLAPE's determination led him to Ilesha Grammar School between 1954 and 1948, where he continued to distinguish himself. His secondary education at Ilesha Grammar School shaped his character with values of integrity, hard work, and discipline, traits that would define both his personal and professional life later in life. After a few years of business career at Osogbo, he diverted to academics in 1956. He traveled to England and enrolled for GCE in the Northwestern Polytechnics. By dint of hard work and tenacity of purpose, he acquired the needed qualification and registered for law school studies at the Council of Legal Education School of Law in London. He completed the bar final in 1962 and was called to the bar at the Middle Temple, London on the 27th November 1962. He did his compulsory 3-month course in the Nigerian Law School from October to December 1963, and at the end of which he was enrolled as a legal practitioner of the Supreme Court of Nigeria on the 13th January 1964. His career path. Honorable Justice E.A. OJUOLAPE, upon his call to bar, returned to Osogbo to start his legal practice in 1954. As his experiment to establish at Osogbo did not work out properly, he left for Akure and became a junior counsel in the chambers of Michael Ekundayo, Ogundare and Co. from 1964 to 1967. Michael Ekundayo Ogundare later rose to the Supreme Court bench. I did research to that effect, my noble lords. During his days at the bar, his lordship OJUOLAPE made the practice of law enviable for his contemporaries, and particularly for younger professional colleagues who saw him as a prosperous legal practitioner. Honorable Justice Edward OJUOLAPE was committed to his law practice until 1977, when he was appointed a judge of the High Court of Justice, Ondo State. His judicial appointment. He was appointed High Court judge on the 26th of September 1977. Honorable Justice OJUOLAPE was widely known by the judges who at one time or the other were in charge of Akure Division, as the whole of Ondo province was then known. He also was very popular with lawyers with whom he locked horns in court. With the enviable level of economic comfort he had attained in 1977, like the learned Sikh, our bar leader, Goke Fakule SN, rightly put, in anticipation of his appointment, he already bought a brand new Mercedes-Benz. So he was not doing badly in private practice then. People People were wondering why he made this choice. He became a judge in a system where the parameter of his economic pursuit will be limited to his personal emoluments. Honorable Justice OJUOLAPE had a successful career on the bench. He served in the various divisions of the state: Ondo, Ikole, Ikare, Okitipupa, Owo, and Akure. He actually established the Ikole division of the High Court, now in Ekiti State, as well as the new High Court complex at Ondo. He started sitting as High Court judge at the Oke Ayadi High Court in Ondo town on his appointment as a judge. Honorable Justice OJUOLAPE's orientation in his judicial function is characterized by his high commitment to duty throughout his 17 years of service on the bench. He was thorough, giving attention to details in everything he handles. Throughout his career on the bench, Justice OJUOLAPE presided over numerous landmark cases, earning the respect of his peers and the admiration of those who appear before him. His judgments were marked by clarity, thoroughness, and a deep understanding of the law. Life after retirement. After his retirement, Honorable Justice OJUOLAPE continued to contribute to the legal profession through legal consultancy at Fawi Law Chambers, located at number 46 Obadeshida Road, Akure, from May 1994 to June 1997. His expertise and vast experience were invaluable during this period, where he provided guidance and counsel to various clients, further cementing his reputation as a respected legal mind even after his time on the bench. Honorable Justice OJUOLAPE was a gentleman to the core. His relation was second to none. He was a friendly, amiable, and harmless personality. He was humble and respectful both to the old and the young ones. I recall my first encounter with him. My lord had come to our office at 99B Hospital Road to see his lawyer, a junior colleague of mine in Chambers, who was barely 3 years post-court. When I saw my lord, of course I did not know him before then. I reprimanded my colleague for allowing such an old man to have to climb the staircase to come and see him in the office. My lord heard me and retorted, no, counsel. I have to come to see my lawyer. I must come to his office. This response or statement reminded me of what we were taught at the law school, that under no circumstance should we go to the house or office of our clients. My lord has found time to come and see a 3 years post-court lawyer who was even my junior in Chambers. And of course, what my lord came for, he was practically also guiding the young lawyer. So, after that encounter, after he left, I asked to know who he was, because the language counsel, no, counsel, I suspected this man must be well read and must be a learned person. So after he left, I asked to know who he was. I was then told Justice OJUOLAPE. After that encounter, I had always noticed and seen his lordship at all ceremonies of the judiciary, special court sitting, legal year celebrations. He will always be in attendance with his lovely wife, Chief Mrs. Wuraola OJUOLAPE. Thank you, Mommy. Honorable Justice OJUOLAPE was deeply committed to his family. He was a devoted husband to Chief Mrs. Wuraola OJUOLAPE and a loving father to 10 children. And I want to move formally that I be included, my lord, as part of the children, making 11. Because of the inheritance, my lord, I'm just... Thank you so much. I've also been informed that Baba had distributed all he had before he left. So there will be nothing for me, even if I am joined. Thank you so much, sir. He was also a father figure, mentor, and guide, both to his family and to many young lawyers, young professionals, including me, who sought his counsel. His role as a mentor was a cornerstone of his legacy as he inspired many in the legal profession and beyond. Reading from the scriptures, he said, For to me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. And we say that for Justice OJUOLAPE to die is gain. Already he's gone to great beyond. But the question is, what then are you living for your life for today? So as we bid farewell to this remarkable jurist, we take comfort in the knowledge that his legacy will endure. His contributions to the legal profession, his commitment to justice, and his impact on the lives of those he crossed paths with will continue to inspire us for generations to come. To Justice OJUOLAPE's family, we offer our deepest condolences. May his memory remain a blessing to you and continue to inspire you. May his memory inspire us all to uphold the principle of justice, integrity, and compassion that he embodied throughout his life. And my Lord, before I end this speech, may I, with utmost humility on behalf of the bar, request, suggest, or recommend that the ceremonial hall of the ongoing Arakunrin Oluwalotimi Akeredolu SAN Judiciary Village be named after Honorable Justice Edward ADEPOJU OJUOLAPE as the Chief Judge Court, which is ceremonial for events like this. My Lord, this is our humble application on behalf of the bar. Rest in peace, Honorable Justice Edward ADEPOJU OJUOLAPE. Your legacy will never be forgotten. The Sunshine Bar celebrates you and will bid you farewell. Thank you for your time, my lords. Most grateful.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me at this stage formally introduce some important dignitaries that are in our midst. The first is Dr. Mrs. Ibilade Kumuyi, the darling wife of my Lord Honorable Justice Olatunji Kumuyi, former Chief Judge of Ondo State. My Lord, at the time I was making the introduction, I didn't look at your direction to find out that your better half is with you. I apologize. Honorable Justice Adeyanju is also with his darling wife, Mrs. Charity Adeyanju. I recognize. While Honorable Justice Elo Ogundana of the Ekiti State Judiciary is also in our list. My Lord came in after we have started the proceedings. You are welcome, my Lord. Then we have Ambassador Toye Olopintuyi, also in our list. So we recognize you and welcome you. I understand Honorable Ambassador Toye was also a Director General in Ondo State in those days. We welcome you. Thank you.
Most grateful, my Lord. May I, with respect and the kind permission of my Lord, the CJ, invite my sister, the Chief Registrar, Customary Court of Appeal, to give the vote of thanks.
On behalf of the Chief Judge of Ondo State, the President of the Customary Court of Appeal, their brother judges, and the entire Ondo State Judiciary community, I sincerely thank the Honorable Justice of Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Adebele Olabode Abimbola JCA, for taking his time to be part of this special court session. I also thank Honorable Justice Babatunde Adejumo, the retired President of the National Industrial Court, for being part of us. I appreciate all the retired Chief Judges of the High Court, the Honorable President of the Customary Court of Appeal,
and all the retired judges, both within and outside the state. I appreciate Honorable Justice Olasayide Kumuyi and his wife, Dr. Mrs. Ibilade Ajike Kumuyi. Honorable Justice Folashade Haruda, Honorable Justice O. Akeredolu, Honorable Justice William Akitoroye, Honorable Justice Vani Shile, Honorable Justice Nelson ADEPOJU, and his amiable Charity ADEPOJU. I recognize you and I appreciate you all for coming. I sincerely appreciate the Attorney General Commissioner for Justice, Dr. Olukayode Ajulo, SANOA, ably represented by Mr. Olubodu, the Deputy, the Director of Public Prosecution, Ministry of Justice. We also thank the Acting Chief Judge of Ekiti State, ably represented by Honorable Justice Alade and their brother judges for their presence. I appreciate the learned states for their presence at this gathering. I thank the Judicial Service Commission members. I thank the chairman of all the branches of Nigerian Bar, Honorable Bar Association, and all members of the bar present. Our sincere appreciation goes to the Deputy Chief Registrars, the magistracy, the directors, and the entire staff of Ondo State Judiciary. We appreciate everyone present for adding color to this celebration. To the family members of Baba OJUOLAPE, particularly Mama Wura OJUOLAPE, on behalf of the Honorable Chief Judge and his brother judges, and all the entire Ondo State Judiciary, I commiserate with you and I pray that the Lord shall uphold you and continually grant Baba's soul a perfect rest. So for everyone that are here, we say thank you. Distinguished members of the bar, we appreciate you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, my sister. God bless you. My Lord, with the kind permission of my Lord the CP, I have the instruction of my Lord the CP to inform this guard that there is going to be a procession around the coffin outside, and thereafter photograph session. Thank you. God bless you. Joining us in that delivery of destiny. This court will now rise. God.
Sorry.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Sorry.
rí ọ ní December tí mo wọlé. Ṣé o dúpẹ́? Rúre rẹ, mi ò ní gbàgbé rẹ o.
Everybody should move in.